I identify myself as a Southerner. That's really important to me. And that kind of overlays everything about me. But beneath that, I am an African American. I see as very important to my identity, and as a Southern African American woman. I had the privilege of living through an era where all three of those things converged. In the South, when so much was happening when I was a teenager, so many things were happening because we're in the South, so many things were happening because I was African American, and also because I was a woman, all at one time. One of my goals in life when I was growing up as a kid, a part of that was not wanting to be Southern, because it was so difficult to be an African American and to be in the South. And so the romanticization of that was that if I could just be any place else perhaps, it would be better. But then I began to recognize, look, this is where I was born. This is my South. I am a Southerner. I do not have to define being a Southerner the way it has been defined in the past. In fact, I want to change the definition. So in order to change the definition, I had to claim the place. So I didn't grow up with this notion of, I've got to get out of the South. I grew up with this notion of, it is mine, I'm going to make it what it should be. And, my definition and looking at the way I am as a female has changed as well, because I came through a period when so many things were denied to girls. I was a jock when I was in high school, thought I would be able to get a basketball scholarship. That was not available. And I saw so many things that were not available to girls. The barriers today are so much more difficult, I think, to discern unless you're kind of living through those barriers, because they're not as overt as they used to be. When I ran for Congress, for example, nobody was going to say to me I couldn't run. But there would be those private conversations about, well, you're not going to get elected because you're black. When we talk about being a woman, for instance, in 2012, it's really difficult as an individual to talk about those kind of things that are confronting women now, that are setback issues, as I call them. But somebody like JCA can come in with the facts, with the research, and with credible people and go, could we just take an objective look at what's happening with women today? How about if we just do an assessment of, are women really getting equal and equitable pay as they should? And JCA, I think, is really good about raising those kind of issues. So great and so respectful about raising the issues of race and gender identity that a lot of people just don't want to deal with. And I see JCA as being an organization that has built up the credibility to approach these issues, and people know it's coming from a good place of seeking resolution.